Frank Green. I'm the writer-director of the movie Wildlife.
And me? Oh, I'm Coco Bermudez, director of In Lieu of Honor.
I think everyone that was coming to film school or goes to film school has the aspiration to do a first feature. Mm-hmm. So I knew I wanted to get that done. It was just a matter of getting around to writing the script and sort of being ready for it. So I didn't get around to writing it until 2008, which took a while to sort of. I think I wrote some other scripts of other movies I thought might be a first feature, but I think I put a lot of thought into what was going to be my first feature. You know, how could I get the most bang for my buck, so to speak? Yeah. Like Alaska would be a great location, and then I found out they had this great tax credit, and I was like, all right, well that lowers the budget, and that's always a good thing. And then the story really only has 2 characters in most of the scenes, so that helps to get it done financially, and just focus on 2 performances rather than 5. Yeah. So that made sense, and I knew I wanted to shoot in the outdoors, just being a nature lover, and so that was going to be a part of whatever movie I told. So it's sort of like a combination of what am I most passionate about, which will help me to put all the energy I have towards it. What makes sense from a financial standpoint, but also what can I do that's sort of different and that will bring a lot of production value. Sure. Yeah.
And my main question also is like with your background in photography, and you seem to be very sure of what you want. What stopped you from saying I want to man the camera? I want to just DP it too. Is there any
it's too much work. It's too much work to do it all. I think it's a mistake. I mean, if it's a short film, maybe, but even my short films, I didn't man the camera. I mean, you're watching the monitor the whole time. You've got to trust that your DP, if they don't have the frame you want, you just tell them to change. Sure. And Hillary and I went over the storyboards. We wrote, bird's eye diagrams of where the camera was going to be, and we looked at sample images, and she knew what I wanted. Sure. And I brought ideas, and I said, I'm thinking that this scene, we could do it all in one shot, and it could be like, for example, in the second abuse scene, where she's laying on the bed, and you just see Uncle kind of crawl behind her and so forth. It's just, I could have shot that, but but it's easier to say, how about this idea, Hillary, and bring the idea to her, and then let her enhance it, because she can hold a DP that is a working DP, that's all they do. They can hold a camera much better than I can, and they're going to find something else. Yeah. Even if the shot, the framing, the composition is my idea, they're going to execute it better. And not to mention, it's like you owe it to your actors to spend the time with them.
Did you ever, I can see with such a beautiful scenery, did you ever change anything on the fly because you got there? And I know you said you already had seen it prior, but did you ever get there and say, okay, now let's switch a couple of things?
Oh yeah, it happens all the time. It's so aggravating.
But she was probably quick on her feet too, right? Because that's throwing it in.
It goes both ways, There's the paradigm of the filmmaker as an architect and the filmmaker as a gardener. And the architect has this blueprint, and all the engineering and electrical and everything is set into it, and it's going to be done exactly that way. And if you have a budget and perfectly controlled circumstances, you can execute that. But chances are you don't. Yeah. So it's better to just sort of lean into the filmmaker as gardener method, which is, okay, I'm going to sow all these wonderful things in the ground and assume that what's going to come up, if I treat it right, should be something beautiful. Yeah. And I mean, the nice thing is that Wildlike's pretty true to the script, 95%. But yeah, it's unsettling when you get on the day of and you're shooting something, or it's supposed to be, you're in a room that's supposed to be red, and the production designer says, well, we've got to go with blue. Yeah. And then they turn to you and they say, well, how does the shot look? How did that scene play? And you're like, I don't know, because the room was supposed to be red and now it's blue, and I can't even get over that part, much less see the performance. So sometimes you're just trying to do everything you can to just see how it's going. You can, producers can help to give their feedback, DPs can help, redoing takes. I always try to do a take, like half speed. That sometimes help, or just change something if I'm like stuck. But that, when they change things up, I feel like I get stuck, and then I try to change something else to just keep making it dynamic. It's hard.
And in the audio post-production, because when I shot my film, a lot of it happened in the woods. The camera moves a lot. I noticed that your camera also moved. How did you control the noise of the crew around? Because that's something. Sometimes you're not thinking about it, but then in post you're like, who's moving? You know, when you're acting.
A lot of that sound is post-sound.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of that sound is post-sound. I mean, unless there's dialogue, you know, a lot of times we're just, the sound mixer is recording, you know, footsteps and things like that, and capturing that, and then, you know, or he's doing it wild after the take, and we're just, you know, knowing that the sound's not going to work out.
That bear scene was pretty impressive. I was like, do they have
Worked
like
out
a
really
magic
well.
window in there?
Yeah.
She looked pretty like taken back by it.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that's.
I think he's really, you know, they're big. When you get that close to them, they're really big.
Well,
So-
when it stands, I mean, I was expecting him just to roam around and say, okay, and then they got the bear, but then
Right.
it stands in front of him, and you're like, wow, I could have probably ran out of that place.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'd love to see your film. So, you know, maybe we can connect via email, and you can send me a link or something.
I'll
That'd be
connect
great.
you the email, and I'll open the password. It's for birthday, but you can
Okay.
just open it.
Awesome.
Hey, thanks for your time.
Of
Appreciate it.
course. Thanks,
Great film.
Coco. All right.